Otherwise, it just sits in it. Sorry about this. We're talking about energy. I'm talking about poisons. But it's all the same stuff because it's all vibration at different levels.
That's correct.
Of vibration.
It's the basis for everything in our life. Everything. Every single last molecule and nanomolecules.
And it's affected by the intent of the person who is handling the food and what that person's been up to, or what they're thinking about, what they're feeling most of the time. And you're saying, you could feel like poor workers who have been, slave workers. You could feel their sadness and upsetness when you are eating the food, and that's how much we affect the world around us, and most people don't perceive it. You people,
I think that's a really good point. Let's go off on that tangent for a minute.
Go ahead. Let's go down this rabbit
hole. When you're in a room full of people, and if you've got a good sense of projection, even whether you know you do or not, and you've had a particularly bad day, and you are sharing that with everyone, you're walking around with it, you're still PO'd at your boss or your wife or your husband or whatever, the guy that ran you off the road, or whatever the case may be, right?
Yes.
And everything irritates you, and you walk into this room, pretty soon you're going to start seeing people argue and start fussing at each other, and you're going to just feel the tide shift. You're going to feel it. It's a palpable change when you become a little bit more aware of your surroundings. So when I get into situations like that, because I've walked into a room before where, I was feeling real good, and I walked into a room, I wasn't in there 2 seconds, and I was like being hit over the head with a hammer with some kind of an overwhelming negative emotion, whether it be sadness or anger or, whatever it was. And I knew it didn't belong to me. So then you take a deep breath and you just sense your intention. Your intention is to spread some light. You can't interfere with somebody's free will, but you can spread the light. You can do that. And I'm going to give you an example. I've had a lot of things that's happened in the grocery store for some reason. I was in the grocery store one day, and there was a woman with 3 children. And these kids were just loud, very, very loud. And the mom, she had 1 in the cart and 2 on each side. And, the cart was pretty full of groceries already by this time. And these kids were just, like, all of them were all talking at once. And they just wanted her to pay attention to them. They were all clamoring for attention. Oh, Mom, can we have this? Mom, can we have that? Can we have this? Oh, Mom, look at this, look at this. And she's just throwing stuff in the cart. And she's just making snippy remarks back to the children. Will you just stop it? Will you knock it off? Will you don't? Just quit, stop, quiet, that kind of stuff, right? And so I was standing at the other end of the aisle, and I was kind of observing this, and I was like, well, I think somebody needs to be distressed a little bit. These kids just want a little attention. Mom just needs to kind of relax with this, and they just need to be on the same page. So literally, I just stopped for a moment. I had a little grocery list in front of me, so I looked like I was paying attention to my grocery list, right? And I just sent this energy towards her, and it wasn't but seconds later, and I kid you not, seconds later, then all of a sudden the kids quit clamoring for Mom, and she quit nipping at them, and I heard her say, okay, now, let's see, why don't you pick something out this time? It was like, I'm not watching the same people here. It was so awesome. That's how we can affect people, because my heart went out to these people because I could see that these children just wanted attention, and Mom was distressed. Everybody was just out of order for a moment, right? Let's just send them something different here. Let their world look a little different. We affect everything we come in contact with, whether we know it or not.
And that's one of the reasons that ETs don't like hanging around us. because they're like open channel telepathic, and we're like, oh, my bum hurts. Oh, oh, isn't it horrible? Yeah. All the time. Imagine having to listen to that crap. You know, they only like to deal with people whose minds can be still. You know, and of course their presence, their very presence, scrambles the brain unbelievably. So yeah, they don't get much. They probably don't get very many people they can talk to after all that. You know, maybe they just think they've fainted. We might as well probe them. No, anyway. So sorry. Oh dear, I don't know what's going on.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
It's that deep breath in through the nose,
and out through the mouth. Yeah. Sorry about that clanking. That's my necklace. Okay, so we've covered a huge gamut of energetics, and I like to bring it down into the space of everyday world. You know, what do we do every day? And every day people have to go to the store, they stop and get gas, they go to work, they have to go to the bank, you know, whatever, the post office, whatever it is, right? So, I mean, these are just everyday things that people do. And and by the way, post offices really have the most strange residual energies in every one I've ever been in. They're really bizarre, really, really bizarre. At least they are here in the States. So we can make a difference by going into these different places and making sure that we take a deep breath and we let go of any negativity that we have around us before we enter into a building, because we will affect those that are in there, whether we know it or not, with whatever our thoughts are, whatever we're feeling. We leave a little piece behind wherever we go. Granted, some of it isn't big and it isn't monumentous, and it sometimes doesn't register with people, and that's okay. But the fact still remains is that we do leave a piece of ourselves around when we go anywhere, including our own environment. So, you know, every once in a while, well, actually quite frequently, I have to change my room around. I will begin to have dreams, night experiences, dreams, and they can become a little disorienting. They're nonsensical. And so I'll wake up and I'll go, okay, I need to shift. I need to shift. That means the energies have shifted. I need to align myself in a different direction. So I have to move my bedroom around. I have to sleep, put everything in a different direction, change my living room. My kids used to hate it because they'd come home once a week and their living room would be changed, their bedrooms would be changed. I'd have the whole house rearranged. And I didn't know what I was really, I don't know what I was really doing back then. But I do realize that every time I did that, I felt like I was in a new place. Every time I rearranged something, that's the same thing. So if you are stuck or you're feeling like you just need a new outlook, change a room in your house, literally. Just change a few pieces of furniture. Take down a couple pictures and put some new ones up. Anything to change it up. You're changing the energy of it. And you're doing that by your intent as well as by the action that you take with that. It's simple stuff, man. It's easy. But it makes a huge impact in your life. It really can. It can make a huge impact. Just doing those simple things.
I've been using colored lights recently. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Talk about that.
Got these, you can buy them from eBay, probably about $25, I think. And you get a little control button thing with all these colored buttons on it. And it's a strip. So I put it on a little wooden rail around my room. And I put, you know, applied power to it, and it's just fantastic. If you close the door and close the curtains and everything, the room can be any color you like, any colored light. And we have been having some great fun. We have a color healer who calls in sometimes, and one day I doused everybody's colors. You know, I just took a color wheel and just doused, tuned into somebody, doused their color. You know, the color that they need, the color that they need best, and that's really good. It really works well, and you can just program this light. There you go. And yeah, I watch people, and they're all going, and I watch people. I click the color that I douse on the keypad, and I watch their shoulders and they'll go, they drop. Ah, you know, they all relax when I get the right color. It's brilliant.
Huh. I kind of like that idea.
It's energetics.
Well, yeah, you know, people think color is color and it's separate from energy, but it's not. I mean, when certain colors I wear, I enjoy wearing them. I feel good in them. They make me feel good. And then there are other colors that I put on and I feel drab in them. There's some colors I just won't wear at all because I just don't care for them on me. Doesn't mean I don't like looking at them or, you know, don't have, you know, a room painted in that color. It's just colors that I wear because it too is part of energetics. It's what I keep trying to tell everybody is when we talk about energetics, everything is energy. Your past, your present, your future, your clothes, your house, you know, the ground you walk on, everything is energy. Everything, everything. And colors break down into an energetic signature. They have a vibration to them. So it makes sense, JP.
And so, as with Pantone, you know, the shades of color, everybody has their unique shade. And that shade could probably be determined by voice analysis, hair analysis, you know, any kind of energetic analysis of the body. Hey, the Germans have got machines that do all this, by the way. You know, it's all, you know, it's all really usual now. There's a thing called a skio. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
It's
Explain.
essentially a tricorder.
Okay.
You remember the tricorder in Star
I
Trek?
do. I do.
You
I
see
do.
life signs 5 meters away. It does that stuff.
Okay.
It's here. You know, it's, where are we? 2015. That's you know, it's a good 50 years. But there it is. We've got the tricorder, more or less. And it's called a skio, if anybody wants one. I think they're about, don't know, less than $1,000. And if you could afford it,
let me write a check.
I know. I said it very casually. But just like, I said it like, you know, like somebody might want to buy me one. Anyway, just so I can reverse engineer it, you know, and figure out how it works and build my own.
Oh, there you go.
Because I've been building gadgets, Rebecca.
Right.
I've really been getting down to the actual thing of making circuits that involve color and pulse in frequency. This is something I've been wanting to do for like 10 years. And I've never been able to find anybody who could build me these circuits. And now it obviously comes down to me. You know how I was looking for somebody to teach me stuff? Yes. When I came to your show? Anyway, so I discovered that I'm the one who has to teach me myself how to make Arduino circuits. I was talking with Cliff High as well. They're brilliant little things. And you can build circuits that do what you want them to do. So I've built a little device which can it can pulse a pair of headphones. It can there you go, pulses just like that. It can pulse a 660 nanometer infrared infrared LED, very bright. It's the color, you know, when you shine a torch through your hands, a flashlight through your hands.
Yes.
That color is 660 nanometers. That's the frequency of it. And if you have a light that color, it's the carrier wave of your nervous system. And so basically, if you send pulses of light into that, you re-energize various parts of the body according to the acupuncture point you put it into. So anyway, I've got one of those, and that's like acts as a wand. And then I've got a dream goggles, and they all run off the same basic circuit. And the next evolution will be that I'll be able to program a frequency and a color into it, which are related to each other, and pulse the color at the frequency that is needed. So anyway, I've been. This is the kind of thing that I've been getting into. These things, you know, that can pulse lasers and send sound across across light. It's great fun. Does that make sense?
My little brain's just on fire. I'm all over the board with listening to what you're saying.
Okay, so here's a really little one. Oh, sorry. Have you got a response? Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Well, there's the one that I made, which is, it's a, you know, the rainbow crystal lights.
I do.
Yeah. Well, I can build one of those for $3 in 10 minutes. All right, and it runs off a USB. And I'm going to make a YouTube. I keep trying to do it and it keeps failing. But anyway, back to the idea. It basically runs through the rainbow as a light. Yeah. So it goes red very slowly, very, very, very slowly, because the ones that I bought, you know, the crystal rainbow light things, they will always cycle through really, really quickly. But this one goes really slowly. And it goes through 16 million colors, 8 colors a second. So it's a lovely, a very smooth, and the light is gorgeous, and you shine it in through a crystal, and it will vibrate at, basically, you know, by going through the rainbow, by going through the spectrum of light, you go through everybody's frequency. So it'll hit your frequency at least once in that cycle.
Huh.
Does that make sense?
It does, absolutely.
So if you put it on a crystal, if you put a crystal on it, quartz crystal, it will then vibrate that frequency in the subtle energy field. So it has even more effect than just the color and just looking pretty.
Yeah, and then that can be a very positive thing, an extremely positive thing. I think you'll be interested in listening to James Honeycutt again when he comes back on, because he deals with, you know, not identical obviously, but he deals with frequency. That's what he talks about, and that's what is, and he has developed, he's actually got patents, and he'll talk about that when he's on the show, patents for these medical devices using frequencies. Excellent. And yeah, so he's a wealth of information on that, and I think you'll get a big kick out of it. I think the audience will too. Not a kick as in funny, because he's a mind-blowing guy. He really is. He blows my mind with his eloquence in talking about frequencies and what they can and cannot do for you, and how he's made, you know, all these devices and stuff. And of course, it's based off of Tesla's technology. And by the way, I've seen more and more people out there using Tesla's experiments and his, you know, his all of his drawings and diagrams and everything that he had, and creating some really fabulous things that I think that we're going to begin seeing out in the world, just like you're creating, you know, this rainbow thing that will hit your frequency. It certainly will not hurt people to tap into their own frequency, and especially those that are really getting involved in the energetics of this world, the subtleness of it all. Because in my world, the energetics aren't subtle at all. They're very pronounced. I mean, it's just part of who I am, learning about that portion of myself. And learning how to operate within the parameters of what resonates with me and what doesn't. And everybody has it. Everybody has these. And I use simple things like, there's certain music that people just absolutely don't like. They hate it. They hate it. They hate it. There's certain notes that people hit that absolutely, seriously, make me feel like my brain is going to explode in a very negative way. You know, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I had my camera off. You said, okay. This is what I get for clicking around when I'm on here. Okay, I lost my train of thought.
Just idly clicking away. No, you're talking about frequencies.
Yeah. I know I was talking about frequencies, but I lost where I was going with it. The last thing, when I got your message that I had turned my camera off, I didn't even realize I had done that. So my bad. I'm still learning.
That's it. It's like, look, it's your first day at work, dear.
The second. No, it's actually my fourth day, to be honest. My fourth day at work. Yeah, yeah. Even though my first show went okay, The second show, we had all those problems, so I didn't really even have a second show. But I was still at work, so I was still there. And then I did my first real one yesterday. Came out of the gate, you know, where actually everything worked like it was supposed to. And this one worked. I mean, obviously the technology is working well. It's just that I had miscommunication with the guest, Marie, and I do know that she's not in. She said she was traveling, so you know, who knows what's going on with the internet. That's one thing that I want to share with people right now, if I can.
Oh yeah, shall I go and get it?
Well, do you want to do that now, or do you want to do it on a
well,
show?
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, it might be all over by then. Anyway,
Well, it could be. I'm, you know.
Yeah, you say what you want.
No. If you want to do that, that'd be great. I think that people would enjoy the information. But when we're talking about technology, and I keep telling people, everyone, don't make any assumptions. Don't make the assumption that somebody gets your voicemail, your email, your text messages, any of that. Don't make the assumption. So if you are so inclined that somebody was supposed to respond back to you and they didn't, then keep trying, because you don't know what's actually happened. And this little piece of information that JayPee is going to share will show you why our technology in real time is not stable. You want to do that?
Okay, so here we go. So we're now just going to select the screen share, and we're there. Can you see that? Now, let me just then present that. There, I am screen sharing, yes. Now you need to present me to people.
Okay, what we're looking at.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, you got it?
Yep. Okay. It's up. You should see it on the screen now.
Oh, I forgot we had a delay. Oh, there's not as much as we were earlier today, though, is it?
It's quite.
Oh,
no,
there's a big one.
It takes a while to build up, but what you're seeing is what's called the dark net, which is like, it's a kind of internet cloud thing that sort of sits around the internet cloud thing. That is run on different Wi-Fi networks between each other and things like that. Anyway, it's a map of attacks that are going on as we speak. Now, just to give you an idea, Redmond, California, I believe, or is that Seattle, Washington? Is that square just near the? Is that correct? Is that
That's where, Washington State. That's at the border right there of Canada and Washington.
Okay,
Washington
so what's
State.
there? What's going on there? So there's, I mean, that has been under attack for the last 3 days.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. We need to look that up as to what city that was. That was the city on both sides of the coin. In Canada, I think I can't remember. Would that be Vancouver on that side, or is that British Columbia on that side? I don't remember my east and west. Oh my goodness, look at that one. That one was bad.
Slowed down now.
Yeah, it is slowing down, isn't it? But it goes for a minute and then it stops. Looks like, oh,
there we
go.
Go.
My goodness,
there we
look
go.
There.
Whoa, there was on.
Oh, they're huge.
Now we're talking.
This, folks, what you were looking at is real-time cyber wars. This is cyber wars.
That's it.
You are watching it live right now.
Live and direct. That is pulsing out in the middle of the world is Saudi Arabia. Okay. Yeah. And Saudi Arabia seems to be attacking everybody. There was Tasmania, and probably Bangalore. They're pulsing out.
Look at that. Yeah, see pulses, and then there's these shots that go.
Yeah, and there's a lot coming in from China. There we go. China and the Far East. Pow, pow, pow. And it's,
now, when we were there earlier today, this place up there at the border of the United States and Canada was not on the map like that. This is just nuts to watch that.
Yeah,
and it's coming from.
And there are other targets, you know, that they're you know, get that. Oh, take that. Oh,
can you guys even believe this? I mean, this is why Nothing is stable. We've got all these cyber attacks going on, and it is affecting everything. Just saying. How about you?
Pyongyang, Pyong, Pudong, Moscow, into the satellite network. Yeah, Pudong. That place in the sort of crook of the Ivory Coast there is 0 degrees latitude. It's null values. It's sort of the one that the IP address hasn't got a value for. It's just 0. That's a 0 on both. So that's what that means. Secret places, military and government, things like that.
So there anyway, you go. All
so
right.
There you go. Iceland joins in.
Yeah, it does too, doesn't it? Sweden. Oh, look at there.
Because there's a lot of hackers in Norway and Sweden. Because there's nothing else to do in the long which are really, 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 really long. Apart from have saunas. Maybe they've got internet in their saunas. But I know Norwegian people.
Yeah, this is absolutely just crazy stuff here, though, that's going on. But this is one of the reasons why, in my opinion, this is just and this is just one map. We don't even know all the different maps that are available to what we can see for these cyber wars. You know, you've also got to remember this is ground to ground, but they're also using satellites and everything else. So if if you think that, there isn't a war going on right here, we're watching it in real time. They may not be using guns, but they're still pretty nefarious. Oh my goodness gracious, that was huge. Oh my gosh, that was huge. There it is again. Oh my goodness, I wonder what's there.
Now things have started to warm up.
Oh there my gosh, that's right. That's close by me. They're in the middle of the States there. I wonder if that's up by Chicago. Oh my gosh, look at that stuff. I'm just blown away. Oh my gosh, look at this.
So there you go. Live cyber wars. It can get exciting.
There you go. Oh my goodness gracious.
The Chinese barrage.
Wow. Is that not the craziest thing though? I'm serious. This is absolutely crazy stuff. Really, really crazy stuff right here. Oh, you can just see it. I mean, it's
it's quite compelling, isn't it?
Oh, you could sit here and watch it all day. Really, you could. All right, let's
come back. Let's come back. Come back. Where are we? Stop. There we go. Back to me. Back to you.
Wow.
Wow.
So there we have it. Real live in real time. It was cyber wars of the. Wow, that was even crazier than what it was we looked at earlier today, JP. But
yeah, I mean, it's been going like that. So on Monday, there was this massive outage of Skype, right?
Yes.
But that was really the symptom of a greater conflict that was going on. Somebody had gone in and hacked the crap out of Microsoft. Because the thing about Skype, and this is one thing that people have always been a bit rather miffed about Microsoft about, because what they did is they ruined Skype, because the CIA, the NSA, they came in and said, look, we can't crack it. We're going to have to just buy it off you and centralize the servers. So everything that everybody does goes through us. And that's what they did. And that is why Skype used to be good and is now pants. So it's basically because it goes through Microsoft servers, which are already kind of, imagine the amount of data that's moving in and out of that place. So
I can't even imagine. Everything we talk about is moving in and out of it.
Exactly. So that is what, and how many members on Skype now? I don't know. I don't think they say it anymore. They used to say it at the bottom. Do you remember?
Yeah, I don't.
Used to read it out all the time.
Seen it for years now.
Yeah.
How many users there are.
That's right. But it's something, it used to be like 18 million or something like that. I remember them when that was going on. Anyhow, so so everything goes through Microsoft, and because Microsoft is getting battered with these what's called DDoS, the distributed denial of service, which means you get loads and loads of people asking loads and loads of questions. Imagine if you had 20 kids and they all ask the same question. Eventually, the mother gives up and steps out and says, yeah, leave me alone, or something. There's a point, and that's what a DDoS is. A distributed denial of service, which is basically, I can't cope with all these requests anymore, literally. So that's what a hack attack does to a server, and that's how they go down, how they can get killed.
Well, I don't know about you, but when Skype went down over here, it jacked up a lot of other things just besides Skype. So there was, you know, of course, Skype runs through the internet, so God only knows what else happened during that time. But I'm telling you, my whole computer system acted weird for almost 48 hours. And
yeah,
you know,
I think everybody's did.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Well, I had an outage myself 3 weeks ago, and I sort of learned how to live without the internet in a kind of Zen way. So I wasn't that stressed about it, to be honest, because it's something that, you know, when you run an internet radio station, as you will know, when you run an internet radio station every day, stuff like that happens for periods of time, and you just have to learn to not be stressing about it, not have that heartbeat, you know, pressure in the heart, and learn how to breathe and all that stuff.
Well, and I agree with that. I mean, I think that, you know, that's the right way to handle it. And my message is to everyone out there that's listening, is to realize that these things are going on. So when somebody says, hey, I've got, you know, a little internet problem going on, because I had some issues here for a while off and on. I mean, it'd just be intermittent, but the net would go down and just, then it would pop right back on, and it'd go off and come on, and then it would stay on, and it would go months and be fine, and then after that it wouldn't be fine again. And I was, you know, like my emails doing all the goofy things it's been doing, and not getting messages, and which has caused this confusion with this for this show, particularly tonight. One of the things is that we just cannot make an assumption that the other person is ignoring you or there's something else going on. We have to really figure out whether or not, hey, maybe they're having some issues. Maybe they didn't get my email. Maybe they didn't get this. And, you know, I'm at the point, JP, where I don't have just one way of getting a hold of anybody. I have email and their Skype ID and, you know, whatever else. And you got a secondary, you know, email account. Because if you really need to get a hold of somebody, that's the way you might have to do it. It's because of what we just witnessed on live camera right here. You know, I mean, this is the stuff that's going on. Make no assumptions.
You know, as I say, I've been working a long time in the business, and I still say never rely on technology. That means, you know, just because you think you've got the latest thing that is the best thing that has got the memory stick, you know, a memory stick could easily be wiped by a big spark, or, you know, a Land Rover or a bus, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Or a crane, you know, any large mechanical object, you know, with teeth and crush. And, you know, everything is subject to damage and subject to destruction in this tiny technology world. And, you know, they just swap it out and put a new one in, or whatever. But it's a very unreliable place. Things fail all the time. And, you know, most machines are measured in MTBF, mean time between failures. You know, it's a figure that you buy the machine with as a spec, you know. So you can say, well, this is going to fail every 40,000 hours, so we have to get an engineer every 35,000 hours or something like that. And but nowadays things are made more and more with fewer tolerances. So they were very rubbish. You know, things break more easily.
Yeah,
these
that's
days.
the definition.
That's where I'm getting to. You know.
Yeah, for sure. It's this definition of consumerism. They want shit to break. Sorry, They want stuff to break so that you have to go out and buy new or get a, get a technician in there to fix it or whatever. And they already know that it's junk when they put it out.
Yeah, exactly. Junk when it goes out. So it's really nice to be able to make my own custom gadgets. And, I'm going to, I've got like a remote control thing for lights. It's really cool. It switches all the lights on in the house one by one. It's just like a disco party.
Ooh. That sounds like fun.
I'm going to have a random say. It's my son, he says, Dad, can you make me one of these? I want a thing, and out a big mushroom comes out, and I want lasers out the top, and yeah, all right, son, bring me the mushroom and I'll build one into it. It'll light up colored lights and all sorts of things. He's as much a gadget geek as I am. It's wonderful having a son. I've never realized what it's like. It's like having somebody like you who's young and cool as well. Wow.
And knows all the latest slang.
How the hell do you fit in? Because I was really socially awkward, and you just managed to hang out in there and you do it. He says, "Oh, Dad, I'm a geek, though." But he's not. He's a model. He's beautiful. I mean, not because he's my son, but he really is model quality. His sister is a model as well, and he's. I'm very proud of him, but he's also very much like he's got my mind about the way things work, and it's lovely to see that. Aren't children wonderful? Sorry, I'll stop talking about my.
Yeah, it's all good, and it's all good. It is. It's all good. I love it. I love it when you talk about your kids, and it's part of life, man. I think it's great. What do we got? About a little less than 20 minutes here. I think what I would like to do is maybe have you. Well, let's see. I kind of want to go to the story, if I can, JP, about. I was doing a show and I was talking about the seven worlds or something. I don't remember how that started. And you popped into the chat box and said something about the 7 rays, and we got started on that. And that's what I had you on the show to talk about, the 7 rays. And this may seem like it's off the topic of energetics, when in fact it's not. It's really a part of that. You talk about that, and there's a lot of people out there that still don't know about it, especially those that are going to be watching this video or who are watching now. So maybe you could go into that a little bit about what the 7 rays are a little bit, because you've talked, you said, oh, well, people are 6 ray, 5 ray people. Maybe just at least a brief synopsis in the time that we have, because it's obviously a system that's years and volumes thick, and it's huge, and it's a rabbit hole in and of itself, with many included on the inside of it. So if you would do that, that would be great, I think. Sure.
And I may even try and use some audio visual, or at least visual guides, if I can pull up my website there, and I'll bring up the 7 ray image. But basically the 7 rays are everywhere, like Morpheus said, the 7 rays are everywhere. It's exactly what we've been talking about, except it's oh, what's happened? Why is my hang on a second, my website's not available. I think somebody's crashed it.
Oh, I wonder what happened. They probably knew you were watching them.
Yeah. So I have more than one homepage. Ha ha ha. You can't knock me down. Anyway, so so what I'm going to do is see if I can bring in this. There's a diagram which is really, it makes things easier to look at. And so in my website, 7 rays, the 7rays.info, there's a diagram, and the diagram is of, oh gosh, where is it? Is of the rays and the chakras. That must be it. That's the one. It's not there. Oh, gee. Okay, so I can't. All right, so we don't have a visual. So let's. I don't have the visuals yet. So what it is basically there are 7 rays, and according when we say this is according to the ancient wisdom that was brought down through the Himalayas and the Himalayan teachings all the way back, and brought into today's world through Dwal Kul, who is a Tibetan Lama, into a lady called Alice Bailey, who took dictation, and then she published it in the Lucifer Trust, Lucifer being Lightbringer. Anyway, if yeah, you can't go there, so you can't see that. Never mind. Anyway, so basically there is a correspondence. There's a thing called the law of correspondence, which means if there are 7 of one thing and 7 of another, then they have a direct reference to each other. You know, so for instance, we have 7 chakras. There are 7 notes to the musical scale. There are 7 colors in the Newtonian rainbow. We have 7 days of the week, 7 major gods, 7, 7, 7, 7. So the law of correspondence is that there's a one-to-one correspondence. So if you say Friday, you know, that's the day of Venus. Venus carries ray 5. If you look at Thursday, it's Jupiter's day. Jupiter carries ray 2, and so on. And every day has a color. Every ray has a quality. Every ray has a frequency, a geometric form. And what I'm saying is that every ray manifests as those things. So you get different colors that are reflections of different frequency bands. You get different sounds that are reflections of different frequency bands. And they all have a relationship, because say you take a piano and you go and you play up the scale, and then you go up the next one and go sorry, and it's the same scale, the same series of notes, but the frequency is doubled, or the length of the string is halved. So when you if you imagine that you see the piano, the full piano takes in the human range of hearing. It goes from the very lowest notes we can hear all the way up to the highest notes we can hear. But if you were to go on, it would still go on with an octave. It'll just keep going on, keep going on. And at some point, these frequencies are radio frequencies. And you keep going and you keep multiplying the frequencies and going higher and higher, and they become TV frequencies, and then they become microwave frequencies, and then they become visible light and color, and then they become ultraviolet, and they go ultraviolet A, ultraviolet B, ultraviolet C, and then they go further up the octaves, and they just keep going, but the notes are still the same. And that's the 7 rays. It's the name of all of those things together. And when they're all together, each ray has a quality. Like, for instance, the quality of the first ray is the quality of will. So people who are carrying first ray are very willful. They're bullies. They're, you know, politicians, and, you know, headstrong. Big heads. People with first rays have big heads usually. There are people with first ray physical body, not a first ray personality, but a first ray physical body, and they often are very tall and thin. That's the first ray form, like a number 1, you know. And then you have ray. So let's do the first 3 rays. Again, by the law of correspondences, all 3s match up with all other 3s. So Father, Son, Holy Spirit, you know, matches up with Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, with all the other 3s in elsewheres. You know, in all the other dimensions where there are 3 of things, they will always correspond to 1, 2, 3. You know, there will always be one who is more first ray than the other, one more second ray, one more third ray. They'll all take the position in a group. There will always be a leader who will come through. I used to observe this watching young women walk through concerts. you know, where there's loads of people, you know, outdoor concerts, and you see they're always in groups of 3, like ducklings. It's amazing. Anyhow, so the first 3 rays are the what they call the major rays, and these correspond also to the major notes in the scale. If it was C, it'd be C and what would be C and E and G. That would be the major triad. And so that corresponds as rays 1, 2, and 3. It also corresponds with the color red for the first ray, the color blue for the second ray, and the color green for the third ray. Okay, now we have to also understand that colors are not as you might think of them, because if you have the visible light spectrum and you go up a couple of octaves, you can't see it, but they're still the same colors. So what might appear to be red in one frequency band might appear to be pure white light in another. And this is some of the problems that psychics have when they try to converse with each other, because they're trying to define colors that people are seeing in ultraviolet spectrums or highs or very lows in the infrareds. So basically, your first 3 colors are red, green, and blue, and that corresponds to the 1, 2, and 3 rays. So the quality of the ray 1 is like red, fiery, forthright, and headstrong and willful is the quality of willfulness. The second ray is the quality of loving, so loving kindness and healing and nurturing and caring, and that has more of a sort of rounded quality, more of an expanding soft sphere of blue, like one of those kind of Star Trek-y things, imagine. Anyway, so that's the second ray, and that's the ray of love, and you kind of it surrounds you with love, and it's blessing and very gentle, and gives you everything that you need, no more. Okay, so that, and then you have ray 3, which is the quality of active intelligence, which is braininess, communications, logistics, moving things around, moving stuff up and down, around, across, telephones, the internet, software, people, business, money, that kind of thing. The movement of energy is the quality of active intelligence, because intelligence, you know, energy is intelligent. So those are the qualities of the first 3 rays. So we have the ray of will, the ray of love, and the ray of intelligence or wisdom. So those are the major colors, and then when you mix the major colors, you get the secondary colors. So the secondary rays are ray 4, which is the ray of harmony through conflict; ray 5, which is the ray of concrete knowledge; ray 6, which is the ray of I was going to say obsession, no, devotion. Sorry, obsession on the dark side, devotion on the good side. And then the last ray, which is actually a very important ray, because this is the ray that is coming into manifestation and is the soul ray of all these crystal children that are coming out, who are like incredibly intelligent and you know, Gnostic children. They are all running on this 7th ray, which, you know, on the dark side, the 7th ray is the Borg. On the good side, it's a good old country line dance, you know. It's loads of people doing the same thing all at once, because it feels good to be in the groove with lots of other people. Rhythm, dance, you know, there's a big surgence in dance music in the last period, because this is what's going to bring us. Rhythm will bring us into the new age, and that's the ray of the 7th ray, which is the ray of ceremonial magic. Back to magnets, magic, magenta, majestic. All those words have a link, don't they, Rebecca?
They do. They do. Interesting.
And it's the ray of 7, because all of those are, see, the 7th ray is also to do with law and structure, architecture, manifestation, you know, because that's the final manifestation, is the repeated process of creating things, you know, like things being stamped out in the factory. That's all 7th ray, you know, multitudes of workers all making the same car part or something like that. That's all seventh ray. So there's a lot of people who are able to do very repeated, boring tasks, which, of course, if you're looking at a slave race, they'd be kind of ideal. So that's why they're trying to capture everybody in these robot bodies. Anyhow, that's a quick synopsis of the major seven rays.
Ta-da! So what ray are you? What's your presiding ray?
You and I share the ray of, for our personality, the ray of active intelligence, which is why you're able to converse with me all about the different kinds of Skype technology and voice technology that you've experienced over your life. And you've been able to be at the forefront of most of those, haven't you? Which is,
I think so,
quite unusual, for anybody. So that shows you, that demonstrates a third ray personality. And now second ray in the soul, and that's this is the soul group of these people who've volunteered to go through crap. Just the people who are in service, and I'm not whining, because there are people who are in great service now. These are people who are rescuing people from war zones and stuff like that, and they've got great heart. Yes. Great courage is the sign of second ray, and they often seem to be kind of quite soft. First ray types find second ray types a pushover. Yes. Softies. Yes. Because the odd rays, the 1, 3, 5, 7, they're hard, and the even rays, 2, 4, 6, are soft. So your soft, squidgy auntie, it's that second ray. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. The softness of the delicacy of a beauty's face, like a woman with a porcelain skin, that's almost translucent. That's the fourth ray. Mm-hmm. That's the princess. Fourth ray is a princess. Incredibly sensitive.
Yes, I know quite a few like that. And
and you'll have fourth ray somewhere in your makeup as well, and it's often it's a result, or it helps. It helps because it's skill in action, and it means that you can dodge things being thrown around the household. These people tend to grow up in violent households and become psychic, because they have to figure out how to survive, is to realize where the next thing is coming from. So there's the fourth ray, and the sixth ray is it's the one that's coming out of incarnation right now, which is why everybody's exploding. The sixth ray is the ray that's making everybody explode. It's the ray of emotion, of anger, and devotion, and righteous passion, and all of those things. Oh, I like onions. It gives me passion. I feel alive. People
I hear you.
I only feel alive if
we got about a minute. Is all we got left, buddy.
I know. So you better call us out, and I'll grab the outro and we'll do that.
Okay, I will do that. And first of all, before you do that, give everyone your website so they can go and check out that 7-ray information for themselves.
The information actually is at 7rays.info, but there's not much there. I haven't really got much there, but it'll do. Okay. 7rays.info. Get in touch with me, and I'll do you a reading. I'll tell you what you are.
That's fabulous. Maybe we'll have you back on here and do that here on this show as well.
Yeah, maybe we do some live ones, and that's quite fun. Yeah,
it is fun. Doing that. Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, I apologize for the Marie D. Jones. We're going to try to get her back on whenever we can get a hold of her. Please remember to stay tuned here tomorrow night from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time for my guest, Mr. Bob Davis, actually Dr. Bob Davis, and we're going to talk about UFOs, should you believe. And don't forget to check out my website. Some of the registration for the classes are closing this weekend. So if you are interested, please check them out. Any questions, please let me know. But in the meantime, have a wonderful evening. And I so appreciate you being here and everybody being with us. And don't forget, to sign up for the free and confidential newsletter at my website, journeyswithrebecca.com. Good night, everyone. Thank you for being here.